So another BTC dip. The dip just keeps on dipping. We're at 58K again, maybe a little scalpy coming up. But today, the show is all about this monthly close that we've got. And I think I've got a clue as to how we're going to figure out which way it's going to go. Tomorrow is the monthly close. Massive day. Watch the show. I've got some key info for you here on BTC. Then I've got some of these altcoins dropping into some interesting zones on 1 hour charts, 15-minute charts. Maybe we're going to get some kind of short-term bounce here in the meantime. There's lots to talk about here. It's Friday. Let's get right into this. And remember, as always, hit that like button, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. I'm back on Banter Plus. It was a one-day show on the main channel. I am back. And we'll keep you guys posted if I do move to the main channel. The likes bouncer is here in the house. Still got the bull goggles on in spite of this mess here in front of us. And the big one today, look at this Floki, 20% down. And I've got the Floki chart. There is a bit of news on that. There was a big whale selling off some Floki there, looking super messy at the moment. And all around, just pretty dirty. Look at Fetch, 13% down. A lot of these AI tokens feeling heat now after NVIDIA is actually falling over. So we're going to take a look at the NVIDIA chart as well. And a lot of these things are going south. I mean, look at our favorite, Celestia, minus 12%. So all around looking a little bit messy, but I suspect we could get some kind of short-term bounce here. And I've got the 3-minute man here watching these candles for us. He's going to let us know if we're going to get our little opportunity here. You can see I'm ready and locked and loaded here on Prime XBT. I'm ready to go. So we're waiting for a little signal there on BTC, and then maybe we can try and get some kind of scalpy going here on Prime XBT. So right now, what are we watching? This is BTC for us on the 4 hour, and you can see what's happened today. We had a nice little bounce off our rising trend, our anchored VWAP, nice little bounce area, and we dropped in Sniper Club earlier today. We were expecting a rejection at a couple of areas. The first zone was the 60,200 region, and you can see here they've just pushed in just shy of that area over here, and they have now rejected us, and now we are at the range lows. I see 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, what the bear is going on? Guys, the dip keeps dipping. I've got an interesting tweet here for you guys. Whenever we feel we're so back and then we're not, this is what's going on here. Where's this guy? That guy. I'm loving this thing. Look at this. This is this constant feeling. It's so over. We're back. We're so back. It's over. It's so over. And it just constantly feels like this at the moment with BTC. I mean, that is exactly what is going on.
No emotions.
It's Chop City at the moment, but you can see what's going on. Why is this interesting? Why is there a potential scalp bounce here? You can see we are visiting 57,969 again, and you can see these are the zones where we tend to get some kind of reaction here on BTC. So Ray, let us know when these candles start looking better on the 3 minutes here. I think we're going to try and jump in, maybe a little stop hunt coming again, but there might be a little scalp here for us while the show is ticking on. So right now, what am I watching here? 57,969. Okay, that's the big one. Then another big level for me, 56K, just above 56K over here. And you can see this is highlighted here for you in yellow, and then 54,500. These are all potential reaction zones here for us. These are all potential scalper zones where we could get some kind of dip. I see Gregory says horrible shambles in the market. Guys, it's messy. It's proper messy out there. Just hang in there, okay? The bad times end. The good times will come back. Just hang in there, guys. And I'm going to give you some info here as to how we can try and plan the month coming up. Okay, we know September is going to be super volatile for us, so there's a lot for us to discuss here. Ray, are we jumping in here yet, bro? What are the candles telling me? What are they telling us?
No, it's just like it's ranging at the bottom, so it's like forming like a little range right here at the bottom until we get like, I mean, there's some like little bullish divergence on the 3-minute RSI, but this 3-minute RSI, so it doesn't mean much.
Okay.
Not yet.
This is what we're looking for. Okay. We're looking for a little stop hunt here again. Okay, you can see this is the 15 minutes on Prime XBT. Let's see if they start dipping us lower. Might be a little opportunity. I do have my scalper chart prepped here for you guys, and we are ready and waiting. You can see that it's already lost this Keltner channel here, and we are dipping lower. So things are looking a little bit bouncy here. In the meantime, we'll keep you posted. Okay, if we take a trade here, we'll take it with you guys. Okay, a little bit of the news going on here. This was yesterday, but Trump, if you haven't heard it now already, he says he wants to make the United States the crypto capital of the planet. Okay, I mean, this guy's bullish. And then, well, we had a look at that one. That is how we are all feeling at the moment. And then we had some PCE inflation data coming out. And everyone knows we're cutting rates anyway. And this is, it wasn't a major effect on the market. So let's just see how the S&P has actually responded to this. And as usual, nothing. Okay, literally just floating around in this very tight range. In spite of the week that we've had with all the news on Nvidia, the S&P pretty chilled at the moment here and still double toppy. Okay, so there is still the chance there's a move coming both ways here. At some point, we're going to get a cracker. Okay, where there's going to be some kind of catalyst here, either some bearish news that's going to start dumping the market, or we're going to get something bullish and this thing's going to absolutely blow. But what I think is safe to assume here, we've got tons of shorters up here on the S&P. There must be so many shorting this double top here at the moment, and those types of environments can sometimes create some kind of squeeze effect. So that is definitely something we need to pay attention to. And then Nvidia, okay, still just drifting down, drifting. And here we go. So after that sell-off, and they beat their expectations, but the market was a little bit disappointed. I would assume that the market had now priced the Nvidia results in, and you can see in this little ride that we had going up here, I would say they have priced that in, and now they are busy selling this thing to more realistic levels. And the first area for me, Nvidia traders, if you are looking for something, I quite like this 108 region here. If you guys are looking for an Nvidia play, 108, somewhere in this region over here, that looks interesting to me. So that is what I would be watching. And then the money supply, let's not forget about this, okay? And this just tells us again, it reminds us, it's just a matter of time. You just need to hang in there. We need to get through this current downtrend. We need to get through this current chop period. And, all the pain and suffering that you guys are feeling now, the guys that have been around watching these shows for the last mini bear market of the last few months here on these altcoins, you will be rewarded. Just be patient. The moment is coming. And Seth, just reminding you that Bitcoin follows the global money supply. M2 just made a new all-time high. Okay, he's calling BTC to 100K in Q4. I think that is a relatively fair estimate as to what could be happening here. So Ray, keep me posted here. I'm getting itchy trigger finger here. I think we might get some kind of short-term bounce. Let's look at our liquidation map, and you can see immediately on this liquidation map, look at these little shorts opening here at 58 up to about 58,300, that sort of area. There's a new cluster of shorts busy opening now. So it's late shorters coming in. They're trying to short this thing on support. So sometimes we might get some kind of little bounce there off that region. And then lower down, what are we watching? Look at this here, 56K. That is an area, 55.8 to 56K. That ties in quite nicely with this little level over here on BTC. So that would make sense if they want to come and flush some of the bulls out down there. And then upside, well, you can see these shorts are far outweighing the longs at the moment. And upside for me, 62.5, that type of region looks like a nice little area if we get a nice big push this weekend into this monthly close. And what did quick email say there? What did they say about the dominance there? I missed that one, Ray. BTC dominance going up. No trade for now on alt. Just sit on your hands. It's pretty smart advice, I would say. Let's keep our eyes on this dominance chart. And I'm going to give you guys some pointers here. A little bounce here at the moment. We're going to look at BTC on a bigger time frame here. It's a big deal. Okay, we're coming into the monthly close here, and Yoda is just talking about it now. You'll see this all over Twitter now, and he's saying the monthly close is only a day away, and BTC is holding the monthly support for months. Let's see what September brings us, a hard bounce or another boring month. That's what he's saying. And I've pulled out the daily chart. Now I'm going to show you. So, yes, sir.
Maybe now. Maybe. Take a look. Stop under the low.
Let's go. Okay, let's go. I'm going to bang my stop under those lows there. Okay, little scalpy activated there. And I'm just going to pop my stop under the lows just in case we get some kind of mega meltdown here now before the end of the show. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. Ray, keep us posted. Okay. And so BTC on the daily, why is this important? And naturally, we are sitting on that monthly level that you just saw on Yoda's tweet. Now I want to show you something interesting. And those of you that have been watching us for a while, you know that we can use these easy algo pivots to give us the guide for the month ahead, for the week ahead, for the day ahead. They often give you, the trend or the expected trend for the coming month. So if we take a look at easy algo at the moment, we can see something interesting. We can see at the moment, we are sitting under last month's monthly pivot. Okay, that is big deal here. That is a signal that we are trending down, and you don't need to be a genius to see that we are trending down. You can see we've got that lower high in play at the moment. And last month's pivot gave us the fact that we were now in a downtrend on the monthly. Okay, so that's pretty bearish from last month's perspective. And if this downtrend continues, naturally, we are most likely going to see these types of levels at some point. What does that look like? It could easily just look like something along these lines where we could just trend lower and start banging some of these levels lower down. Okay, so 55,000 on the button there, a little bit lower. We're looking at about 51K on BTC. So we can see we're in a downtrend on the daily. I mean, you can see it. Then we are under our monthly pivot. Now, 𝗖𝗟𝗨𝗕's got this thing, okay, where you can try and look into the future and it can predict next month's monthly pivot as long as you're close enough to the next month. Now, the next month's pivot is literally a day away, okay? So what we can do is pull out 𝗖𝗟𝗨𝗕 and we can highlight here in the settings box the next month's pivot. So let's click on next month's pivot and then we can take a look as to what it is giving us. And bang, look at that. So you can see right now, if the candle closes, okay, above the monthly pivot, that is potentially a bullish scenario. That could tell us that we are going to be trending up for the month, okay? If the monthly close is underneath this monthly pivot, that's going to tell us that this downtrend is now going to continue and we are in for some more pain and suffering and things like that. So it's as simple as this. We're going to bang out this monthly pivot. So we're going to watch this now this weekend. I'm going to be doing my show on Sunday as well. So that new monthly pivot will be official and printed. And we need to watch this thing very closely. If we get a close above the monthly pivot, that could tell us again bullish signs. We might be pushing higher. We might be trending up. Even if it's for a short term, we'll be pushing higher, maybe into the 63K level, that sort of stuff. If we're closing below that monthly pivot, bears, guys calling 44K, suddenly they're going to be chirping a lot. Okay, so we need to be watching this very closely. For me, I would assume, okay, the safest play here is to close out this wick on the daily. Okay, we all know this wick has been here. It's been staring us in the face since we had the dump. That is a major problem for us. We know eventually after these dumps, they tend to come back and close out these wicks. It happens time and time again. And that for me is now starting to look like a potential reality. What does that mean for altcoins? Well, that that remains to be seen how that is going to play. But we can assume these alts are going to be under a little bit of pressure here, and we're going to need to manage this accordingly. So hang tough. Okay, Saturday's the day. That is our next day that we are waiting for. Let's wait and see. Now, where are my people here? It's Friday. How is everybody? 𝗬𝗢𝗠's here, super fan 𝗬𝗢𝗠. Teddy says happy Friday to everybody. And Tom says, what price is the monthly pivot? So the estimated monthly pivot now for next month, let's just pull that thing up again. Let's just highlight that one for you guys. The estimated pivot here is sitting on monthly support as well. Okay, we've got a 382 support here as well. We've got monthly candles in this region, and that is round about 58K. So as long as we're holding, I would say even the lows 57.4, if we're closing above that type of region, that could be relatively bullish for us for the month. Look out, guys, if we are closing underneath that, could be a messy period for us. Okay, and we'll be here every day, guys. I'll be here regardless of what is happening here. They must come and try and end us with these altcoins. Okay, we're gonna navigate our way out of this stuff together, and we're gonna come out on top when this market starts ripping again. So you just hang in there. And Dave K says he just longed the shit out of Sol. Dave, what's going on? I've got a Sol chart for you guys, and I think we got an entry coming up shortly. So let's take a look here on Solana. Let's go. Well, let's first deal with a couple of other things. Okay, number one, Crypto Bullet telling us the Bitcoin dominance, bullish divergence at the bottom, bearish divergence at the top. He's highlighting here on the weekly that we could get some kind of reversal on dominance. Now, we saw that comment earlier about dominance going up. It depends on the time frame that you are watching. I think I'm typically watching this one on the weekly, and there's no major changes here for us on the weekly on dominance, guys. Remember, those new to trading and things like that, dominance going up is bad for altcoins. Dominance going down is better for altcoins. In a nice bullish market with dominance dropping, that's where you're making, that's where you are printing money on these altcoins. So that is typically the scenario that everyone looks for when they start screaming things like alt season. But let's just take a look at this guy's example here of his bearish divergence. So you can see what's going on here. First example, you got your price action going higher. Okay, so we understand that. Then we had our we had our oscillator pushing lower. Okay, so there was originally bearish divergence here already, and that actually failed. Okay, I actually remember talking about this chart with a bearish divergence, and that initial bearish divergence actually failed now. And now you can see you can actually redraw this one and say, and there's an argument to say it's still coming. Okay, so what you can do is just pull out a trend on this RSI here, because we are still printing a lower high on the RSI, and the dominance is still printing higher. So that the signs are there. Okay, and remember, this is a weekly chart, so it could take a couple of weeks before this plays out. Just because you spot it doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately. So we have to let these things play out over time. Could be a few more weeks. Are we getting rinsed here, Raymond?
They're trying to rinse us. Not yet.
Oh, we're looking for that stop hunt. That's what we want. We want the stop hunt there, guys. That is the banger that we are looking for. Okay. Let's talk about USDT dominance. I see Bogdan's wants to short it. Okay, so this was another thing I wanted to just point out. We looked at this today on Sniper Club. We did a private live session for the Sniper Club members, and we were looking at this USDT dominance. And if you have to be absolutely objective about this, let's just look at this on the daily. You can see that we do have a situation here where we might need some kind of double top or some kind of wick fill on this BTC dominance. So you can see we got major resistance here in the way. We had that big rejection on the dump day. That was on the 5th of August. And now if this was typical price action, you would look to get this wick filled. Okay, if this wick starts getting filled, that tells us BTC looking a little bit bearish there. The alt market under pressure. Things are going to be burning, deep burn there for us. So look out, USDT dominance. That tells us dominance is in dollars. Okay, they're taking money out of Bitcoin. They're taking money out of these altcoins. And Hadi says, guys, go check the VIX. It's about to rip. Now, remember, a ripping VIX is not a good thing. Okay, not good for the S&P, not good for crypto, and pretty dangerous things there. And 𝗬𝗢𝗜𝗓𝗓's asking Ray a couple of questions about how he trades with those goggles on. Okay, and here's another reminder: ETH bros. Okay, ETH dominance hits 1,230-day low. That's 4 years, almost 4-year low for ETH dominance. That's basically telling us nobody is interested in ETH at the moment. Am I the only one left in Twitter or on YouTube talking about ETH? And here it is. I mean, it's 14% down, okay? And now at 14%, it's down 50% from its 31% all-time highs. Remember the good old days. 31% ETH dominance. Look at this thing getting rinsed now and getting sadder and sadder as the days go by. And while we look at this and we start looking at USDT dominance pushing higher, we're looking at BTC trending lower. What does that tell us on ETH? It tells us 2,100 could be a reality. Okay, let's prep for that. Let's understand that this is a region now that could become a reality for us in the near term. Okay, this could happen literally overnight. Okay, this could happen in a couple of hours here for ETH, so watch out. 2,100, this is now on the table, and that makes sense. If we're filling Bitcoin's wick, we're filling that dominance wick, and we're filling the ETH wick, it all starts tying into place, and that starts tying into place with a couple of things like this. Here's Solana. Okay, and Sol has now lost the rising trend. You guys saw this one yesterday. We started losing reaction levels here. 138, we've lost. We reacted there, we lost it. We've floated around 136, we've lost it. And now the big dog is coming. Okay, nobody wants to mess with our 618. Okay, 129. So let's look out here. Sol, there might be an entry coming. There might be some kind of opportunity here. You just want to look for some kind of reaction in the zone. Then we can maybe play this one out here on lower time frames. So you're looking for a dip now into this 129, somewhere in this region. Let's look for some structure here. And that could be a little reversal area here for Solana. And you're going to see the interesting thing is a lot of these altcoins are now starting to tie in. Like they need one more push down before they hit some zones where we can get a reversal. So interesting times now. We're going to watch BTC and how that is reacting with these alts at their corresponding level. So Solana a little bit lower for me, 129.8. That's a zone of interest. Wait for that one. Just mark that on your charts. Get the alarm on 129.8. That could be reaction zone, and I'm going to be trading that one on 𝗬𝗥. So we're just waiting for our opportunity there, and we're going to have a go on Sol. On 𝗬𝗥. Now, here's Peppy. Okay, also an interesting one for us. And I see, what's Ahmed saying? Popcat is a few candles away from being zero cat. Guys, we got to look at this Popcat, okay? This Popcat is a banger. Okay, this Popcat knows how to party, so we're gonna watch Popcat as well. I wanted to pull out 𝗲𝗲 for you guys on the 1 hour and just give you an idea as to where we are on some levels. So you can see here, we just want to watch this zone. Okay, eyes on this area now. You can see this is previously a support region. This has been it's been looked after here a while. Okay, we've had good reactions in the zone. What I'm looking at here for 𝗲𝗲, if we do get some kind of bounce here, you just want to see this type of structure start forming in this region. That could give you some kind of ticket for a move higher. Alternatively, if we're going to get a bleed from BTC, where do you start looking? Okay, your next level on 𝗲𝗲 is going to be multiple zeros 7138. Okay, multiple zeros 7138. That's a potential area. Now remember, when we hit that zone, you're sniffing around there, you're looking for structure, you're zooming in 15 minutes, you want to see how these candles are behaving in those areas, and then you can look for some kind of breakout and things like that in those zones once it consolidates a little bit in those areas. So just exercise extreme caution there. This is 𝗲𝗲 on the 1 hour. So levels to watch right here where we are. And then if we do push this thing lower, looking at 7138. Okay, nothing in between. Okay, let this thing come down. Okay, it must either come lower down or it must pump higher up, and then we can get some kind of action there on 𝗲𝗲. So watching this, watch this closely, guys. I think we're getting to a point here where we could get a couple of entries. And then news on 𝗏𝗏𝗘. If anybody noticed on Banter Bubbles there, 𝗏𝗏𝗘 getting absolutely wrecked. And here it is. So it's down 17% in the past 24 hours, according to this tweet. But a wallet linked to 𝗏𝗏𝗘 returned after 2.5 years of dormancy, deposited $2 million of 𝗏𝗏𝗘 onto Binance. Okay. And then started selling. Okay, that is why there's so much pain in 𝗏𝗏𝗘. Okay, so this guy's absolutely dumping on everybody at the moment. So I thought, well, let's take a look at the 𝗏𝗏𝗘 chart. When is this man going to be finished selling all of his 𝗏𝗏𝗘, or this lady? And right now we can see there is an area of interest coming up for 𝗏𝗏𝗘. So nice little sell-off. And if we look at Banter Bubbles, I mean, you can see this thing is 20% down. It's the worst performer here on Banter Bubbles at the moment. And if we get one more push, I think there's going to be some kind of reaction here for 𝗏𝗏𝗘, even if it's some short-term little bounce type reaction in that zone. I'm looking at 𝗏𝗏𝗘 here, multiple zeros, 11023 is what we're going to be looking at. So watch that little region there for a reaction. So don't FOMO in now. Let the selling continue. Wait till it gets to this area. Then you're going to pay some attention here. You can see why this is an interesting level. This is 𝗏𝗏𝗘 on the daily. And you can see this has been a nice reaction region for us in the past. And we could expect, okay, some kind of move here, some kind of reaction in the zone, and then a little bit lower down. Watch this little trend. Look at this guy. Little descending trend here as well. That could also help you guys a little bit out there. So multiple zeros, 9333 is an area you want to watch. Ray, how's our BTC? Are we getting rinsed here?
Man, it's hanging by a thread.
Hanging by a thread. That's not a good sign. So look, ultimately, you guys see these levels here. Okay, we can see these areas here. Generally, what we played the other day, we played a little stop hunt in the zone. Let's see if they're going to give us the same game. We'll just keep our eyes on this thing. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a little scalper banger here on this thing. Okay, so 𝗏𝗏𝗘, big news on that. Big whale dumping. Okay, when he's done selling, it should go back to normal. Okay, what is normal relative to other alts? It should start recovering and those type of things. So just watch a couple of these areas here, and then we should be okay. What is 𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗥 saying? I sold the wife last week. I thought we were going to moon, guys. It's the risk you take. I've run out of hamsters, guys. Yes, we need to get some more animals here. Okay, and then there's news on Doge, or there was news on Doge yesterday. So we haven't looked at this one in ages. And apparently Elon wins dismissal of the lawsuit claiming that he rigged Dogecoin and conducted insider trading. Now, remember, in the old days, he was doing tweets and all these things, and then Doge was hysterically pumping every time the man said something. And now, there were lots of accusations thrown at him, and it looks like that has now been done. Okay, that looks to be sorted now for old Elon. And just pulling out Doge on the weekly, I thought, let's just take a big look here. Let's just zoom out and see exactly what's going on. Now, this is not something I watch very often. And you can see what's going on here on the weekly. Still drifting down into an interesting zone, but we've got a big wick issue over here. Look at the size of this wick here on Doge, and I think that was on one of these pumps that we've had in the past. But I mean, a massive recovery there after that sell-off we had on the 5th of August, and now it's just floating back into an interesting zone. So if they come and take out this wick, I would say they take out at least half of this wick, and that takes us onto our 786 fib. So 0.0905. Okay, that for me is a zone of interest. That is where you're looking around. That at least is a DCA zone on Doge as well. That's where you can sniff around. But let this thing come down. Let this thing settle now with the market here. You can see it's not a major level that it's on right now. It's screaming to come a little bit lower. So you can see these areas here. Look at this juicy weeklies in this zone here. Lots of candles here. So for me, 905, that is an area that I like on Doge for a little sniff around. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we get now. Okay, I've got, let's see. Nuno wants some Rune and Beam. And what else we got here? Matty says longs are going to be homeless. And Nick says shorters are closing render. And let's see. And Laurie says I don't think he's talking about AI. I think he's saying AI. How low can we go? Is he a pirate? Aye. And FTM request from Targato. Let's see what we got here. I've got Near. This is looking spicy now. Okay, look at the sell-off on Near. And this is naturally, I would assume it's tied in to this NVIDIA pain. I mean, you can see this NVIDIA is getting pushed over here at the moment. And Near is finally moving into a zone of interest. So this is also what tells me that BTC hasn't bottomed yet, because we haven't seen these alts hit these big areas yet. So when you see these alts, they're not quite at their corresponding supports, but BTC is at support. That often tells you a story that these alts need to go lower. So we got eyes on dominance there. Maybe we get a pump of dominance, then these alts just drop into their zone. So that is what we're watching on here. This region for me, 3.85. That for me is a potential bounce zone. So looking here for that reaction on Near, this could be spicy here for us. So look for that 3.83. 3.85, you can see why. Okay, we've got our horizontals. You've got your 618 in that region as well. And that is a zone of interest, definitely for me. 3.8, 3.85. Okay, nice little area there for Near. Just be patient. Okay, let it come to you. Don't ape it now. You can see there's a little bit of room there. So if you want to try something, try it lower down. Let this thing come to you. Even a little play down here, a little dip into that region, and then a quick little recovery on Near. I think that would look pretty good to me. And again, we're not getting greedy. Okay, you can see we're in bearish trends here. We've lost trends. Any pumps here, selling. Okay, any pumps here for take profit. Any pumps here, we're raising stops, doing those types of things. And we want to exit these things, take a little bit of profit, and then bail on them, and let BTC do its thing. And Mikkel says markets dumping, taking profits to buy hot dogs for the long weekend. Nice, bro. Hot dog time. And let's see. Ben says, where is Max Payne? So there was an options closeout. If that is what you guys are talking about, that was 61K. And that is apparently being dealt with now already. And Laurie says he's in Near. Laurie, are you long or are you short Near at the moment? Let us know. I think you're going to get a bounce coming up shortly. So hang in there. And Rune, we are looking at Rune on the daily. And again, I wanted to zoom into this one. We dealt with this yesterday a little bit, and I touched into a scalper zone for you guys. So let's just take a look. Remember, when the market starts falling over, the best thing you can do is step away from the 15 minutes, the 1 hours, step back, take a look at where we are. And you can see Rune right now drifting into 3.8. So that is the first sort of area that you'd want to look to pull a trigger here on Rune. Somewhere in that zone is where you can pull the trigger, 3.8. So look out. If you're going to get some kind of reaction, it most likely is going to be there. And if you look at Near, for example, you look at Sol, for example, and now you look at Rune, you can see they're getting close to their levels, but they're not quite there yet. So you need to just hang in. 𝗚𝗢𝗓, I've got AR for you as well, bro. It's coming. Let's do Rune, and this is what I'm saying now. This is Rune now on the 1 hour. So we've zoomed in. We had the daily, we had the trend break, lovely. Now we zoomed in on the 1 hour, and I've highlighted the zone for you down here, 3.8 on Rune. This is looking like a realistic area for me. Why is this interesting? You can see our previous tight range that we were sitting in. Look at that guy, very tight range. Here's the lows again, and now potentially just want to come visit us in this region. That would be a really nice juicy zone there for me on Rune. So keep your eyes on 3.8 and let's see how it goes. You can see right now it's reacting on a 786. It's not a big area for me. It's not a massive area here. This is just it's a 786, but I don't have tons of confluence in this region. If you go lower down, you can see we've got a thick range low in this area, and I've also got this little anchored VWAP just playing a little game here at about 3.7, just floating underneath. Ivan says that's painful as fuck. What is painful as fuck? What's he talking about, Jerry? Oh my god, that's a big one. Ivan, that's a big one. What is he long in at the moment? What is he trading? Did he say what he's trading? Ivan, what are you trading there, bro? And Michael says,
no, he didn't.
𝗦𝗡618 one of our members at Sniper Club actually gave me a brilliant idea. He said I must get a 618 tattoo. For those of you who are interested in tattoos, I've got tons of these things. But he says I must get a 618 tattoo, but I measure from my feet to my head, and I draw the 618 at the exact region. So we have to figure out where that is. But it was quite a smart little idea there, and I think it plays out quite nicely there. So okay, Rune, 1 hour, you got your level 3.8. If you're going to sniff around for a position, it's there. Okay, right now for me, there's no conviction trade here for Rune where it's sitting. So 3.8, that is where it is. Just be patient. Let it come to you. And look at this 𝗚𝗡𝗜𝗓. Woo! And look at this thing. So it looks like Nia. It looks like Sol. It looks like Rune. Okay, these things are all just drifting, and slowly waiting for a slightly better zone here on Nia. You can see this RSI is drifting lower as well, and we are slowly moving into an area of interest. What does that look like? It could easily look like that. Okay, we could still have a little bounce in the interim. Look at the structured selling here, how they've been doing these little bear flags here as they go down. So I would expect something similar on Nia. That's the area for me, 20.4. That is where you start sniffing around. Okay, so hang in there, guys. That, if you want to be long, wait there. Look for structure in that zone. That is where you can play around in that area. Ray, what are we doing?
We have hope. We're in profit.
Okay, there we go. There's a bit of a candle. Now, guys, remember what we're looking at here. Okay, what I'm seeing here is BTC is bouncing on a level, but the altcoins aren't. Okay, and we've seen this in the past many times. BTC has a little bounce on a level. The altcoins aren't on their zones yet. Okay, and then you long altcoins, what happens? They come back to that area and then they test those levels. Okay, so just be careful. Okay, just if you guys are trying to trade these things, just watch those levels. Okay, and again, it doesn't have to happen every time. It doesn't mean it happens every time. Obviously, sometimes are different, but you know, I like those levels. These levels talk to me. And right now, for me, you know, just be patient. Okay, just be patient. Just if you are in these things, don't ape. Okay, you can see that. You can see these levels. They're here. These levels are here for the market makers to come to and grab these things. So look out over there. And 𝗚𝗡𝗜𝗓 20.4, that for me is where you can test something on 𝗚𝗡𝗜𝗓. And then 𝗏𝗓, lots of talk about 𝗏𝗓 today. We were looking at this one on the Sniper Club live as well. And Mark Lee says, smoke your daily 618. What? Right, come on. And Kratsky saying injective on a 618. That could be something we need to look at. I don't have that one out, but I wouldn't mind actually having a quick look at injective as well. I'm quite a fan of that. And let's just cover 𝗏𝗓 because we are watching this one today. And there's some interesting information on this one as well. So we know 𝗏𝗓 is in a super tight range. We understand that. And what are the options here? We know when you get a tight range like this, you often get quite a big move either way. Okay, so if we do blow out the one way and then they can send this down with quite an aggressive move and vice versa. Okay, things like that. And the longer we go in these areas, the shorts pile up, the longs pile up, and then they tend to come and flush the longs and then send it or take out the shorts and then send it the other way. So just be cautious of that stuff. But what I did play around with earlier today was these monthly pivots. And look at this. Now, this thing is tying in to a potential mega move here for 𝗏𝗓. Now, if BTC... Well, it's actually irrelevant what BTC does because what we have here is a monthly pivot. You can see the dotted red lines here. It's the monthly pivot projected for tomorrow. Okay, you can see this thing is super tight here. And this tells us if we close above, we might get an explosive move to the upside. If we close below, we could get an explosive move to the downside. So this is an epic guide here for us. And you can also see, if I zoom in, look at this.
Wait, hold on. Why are we being super tight with the likes, guys? Like, why do I have to slow down the show?
Never be tight with the likes. Wait, hold on. Where's my thing? I don't have it. Okay, guys, never be tight with the likes like that. Come on. The likes bouncer is here. He's got his goggles on for you. Okay, so here is, you've got the monthly pivot. You can see the dots. Now, if you look closely here in the center, you can also see the very tight weekly pivots for 𝗏𝗓 as well. And this is the projected weekly for Sunday. Okay, so this is going to be Sunday night for us. Okay, the new pivots come out at 2 a.m. For me, it's a Monday morning. So this is 2 days away. But you can see we've got a very tight weekly pivot here as well. So this is going to be pretty key for the market as a whole here. And if we do get some kind of rejection below this region, okay, then expecting some kind of explosive move to the downside. If we do get a move above that, expecting a nice big move for 𝗏𝗓 to the upside. Okay, so a little bit of patience here, and you can see 𝗏𝗓 is trending in this region, and we do have a little trend as well that we can play with. So if we do start breaking that trend, we know what's going to happen. Guys are going to start piling in to cash. So look out for this. And there is time. Okay, so if we do get a little trend break here, look out for that rejection there. Bang, 176, that type of region. Look for that retest. You know the drill. Okay, that is the type of bullish play you're going to look at, and your support is going to be your monthly pivot in the middle here. Okay, this big monthly pivot sitting in the center. You've also got trend. You've also got 100-day moving average. So you've got a lot of ammo here in that region for potential rejection. Okay, if we lose it and we push up, reject. If we break up, we move down. Big bounce off that area. Mario, thanks, bro. Appreciate the fire. Okay, so cash you guys have dealt with. Tight pivots, remember the rules with tight pivots, okay? Loose pivots, rangy market. Tight pivots, explosive moves in one of the directions, okay? As long as we close above or below, that gives us the direction. If we got a weekly and a monthly tight next to each other and we start closing above that, for me, that tells me explosive to the upside. If we're below, explosive to the downside, okay? That's pretty much the rule of thumb that we're going to be watching. So watch these areas, mark this chart, okay? So you've seen where these pivots are. If you don't have easy algo, mark these charts where I've shown you these pivots. Alternatively, there is a link in the show description. If you want some easy algo action, all my stuff is in here, okay? All of it is in here. There's Prime XBT, ZoomX, WeX, MDX Algo, Ledger, everything is here. And Easy Algo is sitting at the bottom there as well. If you want a piece of that, you want to eye out some of those pivots and take a look at that. Okay, let's go into Lido. So remember, guys, one of the comments yesterday, you guys wanted Lido. So what I like to do is you guys in the comments after the show, drop the tokens you want me to look at. Ray grabs them for me. He tells me which ones seem relevant, and then we look at it. Today, he asked me to look at Lido for you guys. You dropped it in the comments for me yesterday, and let's take a look. So this was our game plan for Lido. This must have been a couple of weeks ago. And we were looking at Lido here saying the only possible trade or the only possible bull trade on Lido was going to be a breakthrough this major resistance band. So you can see this area over here. And this was a typical normal pump into a resistance region and rejection. Okay, so Lido traders, you can see here, it's clear as day. Okay, 1.375, massive resistance here for you guys, extreme caution. Okay, and you can see this is a rejection zone. And remember, when we are using an area like this as support for so long, look how long we were sitting on support in this region. It would be highly unlikely or pretty rare that the first time it comes back to retest, that it actually breaks through it again. Okay, so remember, when you push into these types of regions, that is where you're getting these rejections and those types of things. So right now for me on Lido, no reason to absolutely panic just yet. What you want to be watching is your horizontal support. So that's 0.9. That's going to be your absolute lows here from that dump, 0.9. Watch that area there. And Linus is dot dead. Bro, Linus, there's actually there's things happening on dot. Okay, I know there's dot people. And they love their thing. And I saw a post the other day. I wasn't quite sure if it was a joke or not, but it looks like Polkadot was sponsoring Barcelona or one of those teams. Messi was walking out of the top that said Polkadot on it. So, maybe they're not dead. Maybe something is going on there. But I did see the tweet. I wasn't sure if it was actually real or not. But that is going down. Okay, so Lido traders, what do we know about Lido? Lido is going to be an ETH strength play. Okay, if ETH is getting wrecked, Lido is going to be getting wrecked. It's as simple as that. And when ETH turns bullish, we know Lido is going to outperform ETH when ETH turns bullish. So it's basically you got to wait for the play. Okay, but what I can suggest here is if you have the sniff of bullishness out of ETH, okay, then you're going to get Lido coming to the party pretty quickly. So take a look here. If you're an ETH fan, okay, look at this big support here. I just want to remind you, 0.9. You can see why it's massive weekly support. I would expect that to hold on a second bounce as well. If not, okay, it's going to zero. Okay, if not, it's going to 0.4. Okay, that is really what you're going to be watching there on Lido. So that is the game plan there for Lido. I think just be patient. 0.9. Now let's take a look at this injective here quickly and see if we can tee you guys up for something here this weekend. Yeah, look at let's see where we are. What are they giving us? Okay, injective meltdown. Okay, let's see what is going on here. That is looking weak. Okay, so we've lost our 618. Let's highlight some key supports here for us. And let's clean this up a little bit. Let's bang out a 786 there. Let's see what we're looking at. Okay, so injective on the 12 hour. What we can see here quickly is, a candle getting tested. Okay, that is interesting there. So let's see if that region is going to hold there for us. Then I actually want to identify some much bigger support, because I don't think we have enough there based on what we're looking at in that zone. Okay, so you can see this big weekly cluster here on Injective. Let's highlight this quickly. Okay, big cluster over here for Injective. Okay, so we know that region where they dumped into 13.5. Okay, that is a massive area for me on Injective. Okay, if anything, it's a big DCA zone, it's a big portfolio zone, and that is where you're going to be buying it lower down if you are looking for hodl bags. Okay, so Injective for me, huge support here, anything from 14 to about 13.5. So that region, I mean, look, they are breakable naturally, but you saw the amount of those weekly candles that I gave you there, and that is a solid area for us. And that also ties in with a nice little double bottom play there on BTC, just to take out those dump lows. Remember the massive dump that we had. So that would be an interesting play there for me. And yeah, so that's it. Okay, so just look, 15.5, maybe. Okay, maybe. But I must say, if we're coming this low, it's 13.5 for me. It's those type of levels. That is where it's at now. Guys, okay, let's check our BTC play here. Okay, so look, we got a bounce. Okay, I'm not confident. And just to remind you guys why I'm not confident, remember, BTC hit a level. The alts haven't. Okay, Near, Sol, Arweave, Rune, lots of these things, they feel like they need to come a little bit lower and settle down on the level. So if you are longing this bounce on BTC and altcoins, remember, you could have a little sweat out a little bit lower down. So you just need to play safe. Remember the rules here. BTC is trending down. Okay, the market is extremely choppy. Guys are getting chopped up left, right, center, all over the place. Your job here is safety, okay? Capital protection. Save yourself for when things turn super bullish here. In the meantime, do things like Bitfunded, those type of things. Trade with other people's money. Don't blow your accounts continuously. Wait for the big move, okay? So if you want something like Bitfunded, for example, go into the link here. There is a link for Bitfunded. You trade with other people's money. I've explained this every show. I think some of you guys are sick of hearing me explain that to you guys. But it's $49, $99. They give you a $5,000 or $10,000 account. You make 8%. You make 5%. They give you real money. Now, my 5% trade. So I was on stage 2 on Bitfunded. My 5% trade was the NVIDIA AI play on GRT. And I would assume that has now been stopped out. So we're going to reload Bitfunded. We're going to have a go again. We've got to start challenge 1. And I'm going to take a play here. It's going to be Arweave. It's going to be Sol, or it's going to be Near when it hits one of those zones. If it hits one of those zones, I'm going to Bitfunded that thing and get this thing rolling again. So that is the game plan on that. Guys, I'm back on Sunday night. Okay, so 2 hours from my regular start time, Sunday night. Let's see where those monthly pivots ended. Let's see where we got the monthly close. Let's tee up our week next week, and let's have a solid week. And hopefully the market gods give us a little bit of extra juice here, a little bit more fun. Okay, see you guys on Sunday. Catch you later.